So like 2 years ago, I made a video on the Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch. It came out like November 2 years ago, in 2020, and mine is dead right now because it's just kind of been sitting on a shelf. But I particularly liked it, and I remember the Legend of Zelda one got announced, and it came out November last year, like a year ago. And I pre-ordered the Mario one, but I didn't pre-order the Legend of Zelda one for whatever reason. And I've just now decided to finally get it, not that long ago. So I have this now. And I figure, since I made a video on the first one, might as well make a video on the second one. But, you know, we're going to start this out. I'm just going to open it. I have not opened it yet. So we're going to do that first. It's got the hook thing on it that you can peel off. It doesn't leave any sticker residue like the other side stickers did on the Super Mario Brothers one. Let's see if we can peel off. We'll just cut one of them. I'll have, you know, close-up shots of stuff here interspersed, but as of right now, we'll just... that's enough to peel. Sticker comes off the box real nice. See if it comes off the plastic. That's nice. No, it does leave sticker residue on the plastic, just like it did on the Mario one. So that's a bit of a shame, but win some, lose some. So, like the Mario one, when you take the sleeve off, it becomes Game & Watch Vermin. The Mario one is the Game & Watch ball. And so you've got all the Zelda stuff on the sleeve. It's a cool little thing that it does there. So now let's get into the box. Get it opened up. Try not to tear the box. That's one of the things that's always, you know, a worry when unboxing stuff like this, where you don't want to necessarily ruin the box, because I like to keep the boxes for stuff like this. Like this one, a special thanks to you. I'll get a close-up on that. You on the lip here. You open it up and you get... what's this? Alright, there's a code for my Nintendo. I'm gonna use that. It's a... let's see. 300 platinum points. When does this code expire? It expired like a week ago today, so I guess I'm not using that code. So, got a user guide here. Health and safety information. I don't think there's anything interesting here. It's in a couple languages. So, and then it comes in this thing, and this thing has a stand that you can fold out. It's got instructions here. It's got a stand you can fold out to sit it up in. Okay, so you just pop out the cardboard. It should fit like that. We'll get some... and then there's a little spot you can open up on the top of it, and it looks like that's where the cable that comes with it is hiding. The charge cable. And then you've got the Game & Watch itself. I wonder if it's got enough charge to use. Looks like probably... wait, there's a power button. Okay. Press the time button. So let's do that. And we got a clock. So, just taking a glance at them, you can see some differences between the two, where the Mario one does not have a start select, and the Zelda one does have a start select. I assume that's because there are things in The Legend of Zelda that requires you to use start and select. Otherwise, button-wise, they're pretty similar little products here, just looking at them. There's a glowy Triforce on the back when this is on. Pretty cool. I think I personally like the unboxing experience or whatever of the Zelda one so far. It's got like this little stand that the Mario one doesn't have. Even if this little stand is made out of cardboard, and the stand even has a little thing on the side so that you can plug it in while it's in the stand. So that's pretty cool. There's not anything else to really talk about here unboxing-wise, so I'm gonna mess around with this thing for a few days, and then talk about like the experience of playing games on it and all that. So let's shut it off so that it stops ticking, and yeah, I'll get back to you once I've done that. So the Legend of Zelda Game & Watch has like 6 modes. There's your standard clock mode, accessible from the time button, which shows the time, and has Zelda 1 Link wandering around a random screen from the game. You can choose to control Link on your own as well. It's pretty much what you'd expect it to be. You have The Legend of Zelda for the NES in both English and Japanese, which is, as you'd expect, a ROM of the first Zelda game. It's the full game, even including game saves and everything. Zelda 2, The Adventure Link for the NES. Also in both English and Japanese, same as the previous, it's a ROM of the full game, saves and all. There's Link's Awakening, the same thing in English, French, German, and Japanese, but it's the original Game Boy version using a green palette as if played on a Game Boy Color. I'll talk a bit more about that later. You then have Game & Watch Vermin, which is what it sounds like, except the character is replaced with Link. And the final mode is a timer, which you can set up to 10 minutes on, and it will count down. The time does an interactive screensaver thing like the clock does, but instead of being based on Zelda 1, it's based on Zelda 2. I'd say that it's pretty cool to have these games available on a small portable device, but Link's Awakening was originally available on a portable device, and Zelda 1 and 2 were released on the GBA as part of the classic NES series, and the Game Boy Micro is smaller than this device. Despite having more stuff than the Mario Game & Watch, for whatever reason, this one didn't catch my attention the same way that the Super Mario one did. I feel that it's partially because Super Mario Bros. 1 and 2 are a bit more pick up and play than the 3 Zelda games in this one. Without a guide, there's a lot more time you're going to spend just wandering around in all 3 Zelda games. Additionally, since I'm not working the same job I was before, I don't have to find little things like this to do in my minimal off time anymore. I can just play any game I want at just about any time. However, my biggest criticism of this product has to do with its version of Link's Awakening. Why isn't Link's Awakening the DX version? The DX version is available on the 3DS via Virtual Console. I imagine they could have even fit both versions of Link's Awakening on here. It's kind of silly for them to have only included the monochrome version with less content. I don't even think this is the original default palette that the game would have used if it was in a Game Boy Color. Though I don't have solid proof of this besides a page on the cutting room floor, which leads me to believe it was this pink, green, blue palette, which seems to be similar to the Up plus A Game Boy Color and Super Game Boy palette. Speaking of palettes, why aren't there selectable palettes like on the Game Boy Color and Super Game Boy, both here and on the original Game Boy games on the 3DS? Especially on the 3DS, where they aren't even like that green that you'd expect from an original Game Boy game? Why are the original Game Boy games just black and white on 3DS? Game Boy games would not have looked like that unless you were using a Game Boy Pocket. Both of these things should have had a palette selector. Even the Switch Online emulator has at least 3 palette options, even if it isn't the full Game Boy Color Super Game Boy palettes. Nintendo, why do you so often do the bare minimum? Anyway, with the Switch, you have better ways to play just about all of these games. Zelda 1 and 2 and Link's Awakening DX more recently are available with your Switch Online subscription, and Link's Awakening got a full remake for the Switch. I guess you won't have Game & Watch Vermin, but that's available in Game & Watch Gallery 2 on the 3DS, so until the 3DS eShop closes, there's that, and who knows, it might even get added to Switch Online at some point, like Game & Watch Gallery 3. The Legend of Zelda Game & Watch is a cool collector's item, but it's not really a necessity unless you're a big fan. There are easier ways to play just about all of these games, and the clock functions are available on so many devices you probably use on a daily basis. I feel like this has made me retroactively recommend the Super Mario Bros. Game & Watch less. These are just really fun little collector's items, and I don't think they sold particularly well because they also aren't very interesting outside of being collector's items. Anyway, that's the video. Check the description for a beacons.ai link that's got my Patreon, Bandcamp, Redbubble, etc. Click that link, do what you do in those places. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you want to keep up with all I do around here. I do all sorts of things. Leave a comment. What did you think about all this? What do you think about my spicy opinions about Link's Awakening, I guess? Share the video. Do the things. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!